Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Lone Star Radio on my mind. So won't you kick your feet up if you have a minute?
Welcome to the Texas Ticket Show. This is Armando, and I'm with Haley Dunn.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy 2025.
I know. It feels like we haven't been here in so long, but it also feels like it was just yesterday that I was about to pack and leave for Christmas. So
I think you could write a song with those lyrics.
yeah, not right now though.
No, it feels like forever.
Did you have a good Christmas?
Yeah, I do that one all the time.
Did you have a good Christmas though?
I did. You know, we got everybody, everybody around the house, all folks that don't always come around, and we were blessed to have them all, come by the house. And
Most of them.
we all took a little vacation. We missed a few episodes. There, I don't know, a holiday. I didn't know I missed it necessarily. Can't say I'm missing it.
No, we didn't miss it. It was just a holiday.
It was. And here we are, what is it, January, February? Dang, it's going by fast.
It's going by so fast. I know.
We're pushing February,
I know, we're almost halfway through.
So, and I had some notes. I'm fishing for them now, but what do you do for Valentine's? What's your Valentine's thing?
Like my dog Jammie Valentine's thing, or just what do I do? I hate
Do you dog Valentine's?
Yes, I hate Valentine's Day though.
Okay, well,
So
better story
I don't
than...
do Valentine's.
Huh. So, what do you do for the dogs?
Well, I have a Valentine's Day collection that I launch, different Jammie prints and patterns and
Really?
pink and red and
Where can we
Valentine's
find
stuff.
this? Where can we find that stuff?
Dymonds-co.com.
And is it like your whole collection you've produced from day one that you...
No. So I try to switch out the prints every single month, so that way it's just a fresh new start, different things. I do have a couple of staple prints that stay in the shop all year round.
Sure.
But yeah, Valentine's Day is coming around, so I found some really cute patterns that I'm really excited, and those are going to launch on Friday, actually. So
I got my new Texas
Today.
Truckworks jacket for Christmas.
They're going to launch today. Oh, really? They brought it here?
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, before.
Oh,
but
before.
It's a bit much, and I think somewhere in here, hang on, is my...
Does it have too many pockets? You lost your notes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll get into that a little bit. It's just getting a little warm in here. We have a good show lined up for today.
We do.
I want to say great, but I guess we'll discern whether it was great or not at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. 'Cause what if somebody doesn't show up?
I think we're gonna be.
It's
fine.
not gonna be so great.
This is the first show of the new year. We're gonna be good.
Yeah. And Conroe's doing a lot of great things, a lot of stuff here in Conroe, and we want to bring up some of that stuff and then some of the regular calendar stuff, and we've got a few guests on the show today. One, tell us about the security company that's coming today.
Yeah, Ranger Guard, Jessica and Eddie.
Ranger Guard. Okay.
Yes, Ranger Guard of Conroe. So we're excited. We're excited to have them here. They have a really amazing story that I can't wait for them to share with you guys.
They do. And what do they do?
They do security in the area, so school security, private events, public events, hospitals, businesses, just all types of security that you would need. Drive-by security, if you need somebody to check in on a location. If you need personal security, they do that as well. So lots of different security options, yes.
Yeah, I know I do.
You need a bodyguard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everywhere I go. Just in case. It's zero risk policy. It's always good
With
to have
that
a security
shirt,
guard.
probably.
Yeah, well, probably not.
Oh, okay.
I mean, a little less of that. But today we also have Poop Patrol.
Yeah.
Poop Patrol.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and they're here in the studio now. We're going to get this show started and bring them in and just get it going. We'd like to welcome Tim and Rene from Poop Patrol? Doggypoopatrol.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Well, welcome to the studio, Rene, Tim, and who's there? You have there.
This is Chloe.
Chloe
Hi,
is with us
Chloe.
today.
Yeah. Sweet girl. And you said she's 11?
11,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
11 years old, and she's got one tooth left.
Oh. So does she eat mostly wet foods or?
Yes, yes.
So cute. Is that your only dog?
We
No.
have 2 others at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have 3 total.
Okay, she's just your little pocket princess.
Yeah.
I see that.
She's the
She
little
was
one.
she became mine. She started out with her.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah. And the other 2 dogs we have are larger,
Yeah.
and they tend to walk all over her. So I have to put her in the pouch that you saw.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. So I have 2 Great Danes myself, and our neighbor found a Chihuahua similar in size to Chloe here, and she was locked in a milk carton and zip tied together, and so we pulled her out. She had a lot of issues. She had cancer, unfortunately, and she had gone through some trauma. Her spine was shattered in several different places, and just, but anyways, oh my gosh, did our Great Danes love her.
Yeah.
We have a Dior and Dolce, and so we named her Gabbana. So she was our little Gabbana. She was so cute. Just reminds me of that. And I started making dog pajamas actually for Great Danes, and so I'd never made anything that small actually. And so she was our tiniest Jammie model, and bless her heart, she ended up passing away. But she was such a light. I loved her so much. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you for bringing her today, and tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Go ahead, Renee. Start off.
Well, we started our business in October 2024, and we were trying to find something that Tim could do because he about 3 or 4 years ago, he became disabled. And so we've been trying to search for something that would fit him and that he could get out and do on his own. And we heard about a business like this one in Austin, Texas. And the guy there said he was pretty, he was doing really well with it. So we thought, well, maybe we could do something like that here in our area. So we started checking around and doing some investigating. And in October, we started our own Doggypoopatrol business.
Oh, I love that
Yeah.
so much. So are you guys are you local in Conroe, or where do you guys serve?
Well, we go anywhere. We go Conroe, Montgomery, Rayford Sawdust area. Just
Willis.
pretty, Willis, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about an ideal client. This is what I really wanted to know. I mean, if I got one dog and he poos,
We have
I think I got it.
we have a client that's the perfect client.
Yeah.
They have the grass that's what kind of grass would that be called? It's the puffy grass, the real soft and it's curly looking, and it's perfect for a dog. And their dog stays in that one area. What is it, about 20 by
10
10 by
like
20?
That. It's a very
and the
small
dog, that's
area.
the only place it goes to.
Yeah.
And I go there once a week, and it's all in one little area, and so it takes me 5 minutes every week.
Oh my gosh, that is
So I was
the
like, man,
perfect
if I could get
client.
the rest of my clients to do that, that would be great.
Yeah. So is there full yard all this grass, or it's just this one specific area that is this grass?
It's a fairly large.
Yeah, it's a large area.
yeah.
That's just the only area that the dog goes
Yeah,
to.
Yeah, I was gonna
they've
say, maybe
trained
I
the
need
dog to go to
just
that one area.
a 10 by 10 square.
I go
just
to
for
the
my
same
dog.
place all the time.
I do too.
Yeah, just saying. I mean, it's not that unique. He's so special.
Yeah.
Me too. Dang.
And you don't have to have anybody else pick yours up, or do you have somebody else pick yours up?
No, I have an automated system.
Yeah.
It's gone. And thank goodness, I sit on this. Well, that's probably a bad play on words. I think on this in a way that, is there a commercial application for your service? I mean, do you do it on another level, or is it always residential, individual, or do you have any clients that are beyond that a bit, and maybe like?
Well, I tell you, the way I do it is I take a tactical approach to it.
All right.
I find it, I extract it, and I dispose of it.
Sure.
Beautiful.
That's the way I do it. It's
Assumably so.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But let me ask you. We have a dog park in our area, and when we go, it's of course covered in poo. I mean, there's poo everywhere. They don't poo in the concrete. None of them do. But it's out there. But is there a community need for this type of service?
Yes, like apartment complexes,
Sure, yeah.
community parks, like the city park and all that.
Because an apartment complex is going to have a fenced-in area about the size of the studio for you
Right,
to
right.
take your dog out, right? But you're going to walk your dog through the entire property,
Right.
and he's going to do his business wherever he wants to,
Right.
And if we walk long enough, he's going to do it a couple times.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And so grateful, they always love the grass. They just, are wanting to go for the walk, and I'm wanting to get him from A to B and finish his business, and
Yeah.
instead he goes over on his back, and just, grass, grass, that's to be expected, right? And so is the rest of the business,
Yes.
And so when I think about it, I think that you can't really control where, and then we start seeing these little poop boxes barking up everywhere,
Yes.
and I always think about, isn't it good for the grass?
Well,
Not
I mean,
necessarily.
yeah, no.
No, it can cause all kinds of problems like
Yeah.
parasites and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So you don't want to
Yeah.
leave it laying there in your grass too long.
Do you guys do
Yeah.
any like lawn care afterwards to treat
Yes.
for worms
Yeah,
or
we
things like
do.
that?
Oh, all right.
I do a deodorizer, and I also do a spray for the discoloration of the grass, which is basically I'm painting your grass. So, like if people have a party or something and they don't want people to see
Brown
all the brown
spots.
spots or anything, the pea spots, then I'll spray it with the sprayer and it makes it green again.
That is genius. I actually
Yeah.
saw somebody on a Facebook or something. It was like their HOA was getting mad at them because their bushes were dead, and they
Yes.
just spray painted
Yeah.
them, and they stopped giving them letters.
Wow.
But I mean, it's genius. Like you
Yeah.
gotta do what you gotta do.
Well,
and-
I've never even heard of it or even
Yeah.
thought of it
Yeah.
until I saw it on saw it online, and I was like, "Huh." I saw it for sale, and I told Rene, I was like, "Well, let's get a jug of that and try it."
Yeah.
Is it pet safe?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
It works really well.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
the
genius.
deodorizer is all pet friendly, so there's no problem with. I've had a client ask me, "Oh, is this going to hurt my dog?" And
Yeah.
It
So
doesn't.
yeah, took a picture and showed her that it's all pet friendly.
Awesome.
Well, Tim, now they can reach you by 936-444-5512. Is
Correct.
that correct? Okay.
Yes.
And you have a website?
Yes, it's Doggypoopatrol.com.
Okay. And so you'll do regular maintenance, come by us every so often,
Yeah.
based on the client, I assume, and tend to the business.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
and so, where did you say you heard about it?
We heard about it through a guy who had a business like this in Austin, Texas.
And you did this on what? YouTube?
No, how
Where
did
did you
I,
find
how did
this
I
Austin
find
guy
him?
at? Yeah, where'd you see the
Oh,
Austin
we
guy?
saw it.
we went to Austin actually back
Okay.
in the summer, and so we saw some signs and everything.
And a
of-
guy
of-
had
of
had his truck wrapped.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like, huh, that's a pretty good thing. So I started investigating it,
Yeah.
looking into it.
By
and I was
speaking
like,
with him or just looking
we-
online?
No,
We
just
just
looking
looked
online.
online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was introduced to the business on YouTube, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and I watch a lot of these entrepreneurial things, and some are based around marketing and
Right.
things like that, which is what we do. And so there was a couple of different business examples of this business being put together, and how successful they had been, how they'd grown so rapidly, and how the service has such a need. And are you finding this kind of, I guess, reaction on your outbound calls?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, we are. Like a lot of the elderly people, they have dogs, but they can't get out there and clean up after them. So that's
Sure.
when they would call us.
Yeah.
And then people who just, work and on the weekends or whatever, they don't feel like going out and cleaning up doggy poo in their
Yeah.
backyard. So they would call us.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
that's the needs that we're filling in this
Yeah.
area
That's great. And how long have y'all been doing it?
since October last year.
October, you said. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you're ramping up? I mean, is it
It's
doing
growing
everything
slowly, not as fast as I'd like it to, but I mean, it's starting to come
Yeah.
come around.
Yeah. Okay. And where were you from? Are you? Did you already ask this? But are you both
we
from
were
this
both.
community?
Oh, I was born and raised here. And
Where's here?
well, I was born in Houston, but I've been in Conroe, Montgomery area for the last
Fair enough. Yeah.
40
sure.
years.
And And you, Rene?
I've been in Montgomery for 17 years.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I've been here quite a while.
What'd you do before?
Before,
Gotta do something.
Before I had a company up in Huntsville. It was a telecommunications business.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And are you retired now, I assume?
I sold that business, and now I'm a real estate agent.
Are you? Okay.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
who's your broker?
It's Pinnacle Realty.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic. So social media, you got some of that stuff out there. Is that for me?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that goodies. I can cheat sheet this and kind of get an idea. I saw your truck outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, wow, okay, they're here. Fantastic. And I was really excited about getting you guys together because, Haley makes dog clothes.
Yeah,
And your
I'll
dog.
get
We'll
with
have
you
to
with
get
later.
with you.
Yes.
And your dog is dressed.
This is perfect, honestly.
Yeah, did y'all have a good New Year's, good Christmas?
We
All that
did.
go well.
Yes.
So anything weird? Anything crazy? I mean, any oddities you're already picking up on in the last 4 months?
Well, the yard guys really like
Oh,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, because
The landscapers.
the
Yes.
landscapers, the mowers, that go out and
Yeah.
clean up the
Yeah.
yards and all, they really love our business
Yeah,
because
'cause-
people who have dogs, they don't want to go in there and mow all over that stuff
Yeah.
or weed eat it,
Yeah.
because
So
it'll
they're
be a
like,
mess.
well, what day are you going to come so that way we
Yeah,
can
come
schedule
after.
them?
Yeah.
Because before they were like, man, we're having to walk through this stuff. And they're like, won't you talk to them and see if they'll schedule with you?
Yeah.
My wife's tired of cleaning my shoes. She made it my job. Well, I had some questions about, does the dog size matter? But it seems like it might get too.
No, it doesn't. Really
She's got
matter.
Great Danes. I mean,
Yeah.
they
I
pose like a
could
human.
imagine.
We have
It ain't
piles.
normal.
Yeah.
They're-
You have big piles.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Tall, round. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, and are we only on dogs?
Pretty much that's
Yeah.
what we do right now, yes. Yeah.
So I have like a milking cow that walks around my front yard on a regular basis.
You don't want to drive through his poop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We haven't
No.
we haven't done horses or anything like
Yeah.
that, not yet.
Sure, yeah. And they make their regular rounds through the city, and the city has a horse patrol and other
Yeah.
things that,
We haven't had that problem
Yeah.
yet.
I don't know if it's
But I'll let you
sounds
know
like a
if we
whole
do.
lot of work. A whole lot of
Sounds
work.
like another opportunity.
Yeah.
Big one, a huge opportunity, giant
I think
opportunity.
I would need a lot bigger scooper.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even, I was I didn't know if I should venture into what equipment you use, and
Well, it's funny you say that because I started out with a little scooper.
Yeah.
And I was like, I told my wife Renee, I was like, I don't think this is gonna work because I'm having to empty it 3 times.
oh Lord.
So I ended up going
You got the
buying a
bigger
commercial
one.
pooper scoop or a scooper,
Yeah.
and it works great.
Yeah, we use a manure shovel.
Yeah.
Manure. Well, that's a good
Right.
word.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
a horse
because those are
manure
big
shovel,
dogs.
I can't. It's too much. Yeah, it's too much. Usually, my boyfriend will just like rake it all in one giant pile and then scoop it up and then
Yeah.
get rid of it. But
Did you see how she did it?
Yeah, she's done it once or twice.
It's like she's mining
I was
for
going to
coal,
say your
you
arms look a little strong.
well, there's a big dog.
Yeah.
basically, yes. That's exactly it.
Well, guys, man, I am really glad you came on the show today, and I know you have weekly service, couple of times a week, and
Yeah.
things like that, and I'm sure the rotation could be accustomed to whatever the client
Absolutely,
needs.
yeah.
And your service in the Montgomery County area, and then some if needed, and just call, and you can call again 936-444-5512 for Doggypoopatrol and get a little bit more about that. And last I saw it was I think it was a like I said, the entrepreneurial show about starting a business and easy to ramp up, and and I'm really I'm so excited there's one in our community, and I'm really looking forward to see how it grows in the future.
Yes.
And if it meets expectation, and whatever support you guys need, just ask our show. If we can help you, we'd love to do so. It's our goal here at Lone Star Community Radio to support local business.
Yes.
And we hope we can help support yours. We look forward to catching up in the future and getting a little bit
Okay.
more information about where you guys have gone from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd
yeah.
love to
Good.
come back and tell you.
Yeah.
I can't wait. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to cut this segment, and we'll be back. And just in final, Dog Poop Patrol 936-444-5512. You can reach them there, guys. We'll be back right after this.
Turn your radio dial to the Texas ticket.
Car enthusiasts of Conroe, FM 104.5 and 106.1 Lone Star Community Radio invites you to shift into gear every Monday from 1 to 2 with Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy for news on all things automotive in the greater Houston-Conroe area. Can't make a live show? We've got you covered. You can find all of our uncut content, including full episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Play Store, YouTube, Facebook, and irlonestar.com. Again, that's Mondays 1 to 2, Cruising Car Club Talk with Robert and Randy. See you there.
Welcome back to the Texas Ticket. This is Armando and Haley Dawn.
Hey.
Hey, we have a national security. What's the name of the company?
Ranger Guard of Conroe.
Ranger Guard.
Yes.
So what's the full name?
Ranger Guard of Conroe.
Ranger Guard of Conroe.
Yes.
Security company, patrol. They're here with us to talk a little bit about that as well. But we wanted to mention really quick an event that's coming up. And we have the Montgomery County Fashion Show. The Spring Summer Series will be coming to Timberline Crossing on May 3rd. And there's only 200 seats for this event, and they're going to start selling those, I think, next week. So I just wanted to put that on the radar and bring in our guest, Ranger Security. And Jessica is here with us, and Eddie. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Eddie. All right. And they're here in the studio. We wanted to welcome them. They'll also be helping us out with some security at the event, I believe. You know, and we think that's coming up. And I'm excited. I'm glad to have you here on the show. And I know last we were talking about what was on the USA Today show, right? Yes. And a lot of things that went on in your life and how you started this business. I know it's an intriguing story and heartfelt and meaningful, and I guess brings sincerity to everything you do along the way from there to here. And so I'm take the pulpit. I'm ready for you to let you share some of those things and just go and tell me about if you care to. But the business, the life, what's going on? Tell me a little bit about it.
Okay, so we are the owners of Ranger Guard of Conroe.
Sure.
Which is a private security company that, we're licensed by the state of Texas to perform these services of any type of to security needs that people have. So we employ security officers, personal protection officers. We do patrol services and such. Basically, your one-stop shop for anything security. We have a vested interest in this field of security. We have a daughter who was a victim of a violent crime while she was away at college, and she ended up being shot, which left her to be paralyzed, and within a couple years we lost her. And so after losing our daughter, we now have a new kind of mission in life of trying to make the world a safer place. And we're better to start than here in our own county.
Sure.
And so that's just what we strive, number one, to give back to our community. But our whole goal is just try to make the world safer. And so today's world, as most people know, I mean, there's some crazy stuff that goes on out there. And, so that's kind of why we do what we do.
Yeah, it is a lot of reasons to protect things today. And I don't even know where to start with that. There is so many concerns, and I always my son always tells me I'm that tinfoil hat guy. It's like, you can't warn me about everything, Dad. Well, why not? Well, border's bad. Well, tell me Chicago's going crazy, North Carolina's going crazy, Pennsylvania. It just goes on and on. California, of course, it tripled up on it. Just all across the U.S., it just seems like there's so much odd going on. And I say that, but I know this was sometime before that. When did this happen with your daughter?
So our daughter was shot in December 10th, 2017.
And it was just some went at the wrong door.
Yeah. So this was her first semester that she was living off campus. She was attending Tarleton State University in Stephenville, and had finished her classes before coming home for the Christmas holidays. But she stayed to make a little extra money. She worked at the Welcome Center at the college.
Okay.
And so she just stayed to work a little extra. And just that Sunday night, she had a knock on her door and looked out the peephole and didn't see anything. And they knocked again, and so she answered the door thinking there was a kid playing Ding Dong Ditch.
Yeah.
And instead she was met with a gunman who shot her point blank. And so she was there 4 hours before somebody found her. And 4 days later, they were able to arrest the gentleman. They charged him with aggravated assault.
We'll just go with the
Not a
guy.
gentleman.
Yeah, we'll just go with the guy. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Yeah.
I'll take. Let me do it. Yeah, and I understand the need for etiquette there, as you are in a business that deals with this sort of
Yeah.
thing, and but as far as taking the steps from there, how long has it been? You said
So that was in 2017.
17. Okay.
So it's been a while, but a couple of years was just about survival because she survived the shooting. She was a quadriplegic, but she survived it. A year later, she was diagnosed with cancer, which they think came from all the traumatic and the treatments and such from the shooting. And so we lost her in April of 21. And since then...
I'm sorry. Sorry for your loss.
Thank you. But since then, it's we took time for some healing, and, we still, every day is a different day of figuring out how to continue moving on. But it just gave us, we want to keep her memory alive, and we want to make a difference,
Sure.
on everything that we experienced through this tragedy.
The Lord looks after those who mourn.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'd like to, I guess, go into the part of the career after that, right, and where it's taken you from there. And in order not to embellish on that too much further, and I can see the spirit, and I think the spirit's really what drives a good business and drives anything and everything. So I appreciate you guys, and that. I think it means a lot more than just having some guy, smoking cigarettes on the corner with a gun on his hip, and just not even paying attention doesn't really. Have much spirit about it. I mean, it's not that he's doing a bad job. He's watching. He's doing his thing. It just didn't have that spirit about it. Where I seriously, I care. I mean, I don't like the bad guys. I like the good guys.
And I want to touch on what you just said because you guys are really big about proactive security and not reactive security. So do you guys want to touch on a little bit about what that means to you?
Okay. Proactive versus reactive. Reactive is when I try to sell and talk, I had a lot of friends that are police officers, so I don't mean it as an insult or anything negative. But you call 911, the police react. As security, we say we're proactive. So if we are doing our job, there will never be a need to call 911. We are a deterrent. People see us if they're going to if they're troublemakers or looking for a place to cause problems or rob or whatever, they will go somewhere else where there's not security. And, okay, then now those people will have to call 911, but at least our clients, we hope, and, we do our best to keep them secure. So we try to keep it from being a 911 call. We just secure. So that's why I say we're proactive. And if we're on a location, we're not waiting for someone to call, hey, we need security at the front desk, or we need somebody in the parking lot. If we're doing our job, we're already at the front desk. We're already in the parking lot.
And immediately I think about, there's the apex predators in the wild won't pursue a target for a meal that might hurt them in any way because they eat 3 times, 4 times a day, right? So if I break a leg out here, I'm dead. It's a grave, and so the animals know these instincts that they have to collect prey that's much smaller than themselves for every single meal. So what we find is that a dog has this sense, and if I travel, I like to stay strapped, keep my gun on me, keep more than guns I need with me, and just in case, right? And when I go, and I don't put it on until I go to pump the gas. Anybody want some nuts or some chips or some snacks? And they're like, well, yeah, hang on, and I'll strap it on and go in the store. We find these predators all throughout Houston and throughout the city and throughout other places that are just waiting for a prey. And they use a gun, they approach a vehicle, they'll put your wallet on the hood and start walking that way. You turn around, I'm going to shoot you. And what are you going to do? Okay. And then you walk off, and you get to make a description and fill out a report halfway between here and your destination. It's an awkward place and disposition to be in. But the principle is that if you carry the weapon and it's on your hip, then they'll wait for the next one, because they're not here to get hurt. They're just here to get your vehicle and get the money and get the things that they want. They have no interest in an actual action. They're not trying to. It's not a move of strength. As a matter of fact, if most of the world views using a weapon like that in an engagement as a view of weakness, meaning you're overcompensating for your weakness, so you had to bring a gun, right? Real men use their hands, and I hate to say that. Real men probably don't do any violence at all, but if it comes to call, it comes to time. It's your hand. So anything other than that, the question should be: should we be barefoot or with our shoes on? Not whether we take it to that level. And so I always feel like and if you go to Scotland, they'll talk about every criminal in America with a gun as the weakest people they know. Every single one of them.
Let me address that about the gun. Your police officers carry a gun, and it's not because they want to be Billy Bad. It's the reality of the life we live in. But guess what? In the U.S., but mainly here in Texas, we don't hear about broad daylight, someone kicking in your door, going in your home. Go to Scotland, that's a deal. You're just watching, minding your own business, watching TV, somebody kicks in the front door because they know you don't have a gun.
Yeah.
In Texas, they look around and say, that house might have a gun.
We'll go next door.
And they'll go, so we don't, that's not the kind, we have crime, but it's a different type.
Yeah.
And I always like to, I consider myself a Christian, so I remember this story about Adam and Eve, and they had these two boys. One of them's called Cain, and one of them's Abel. Cain killed Abel. He ain't had no gun. I mean, he just probably used a rock. So if you're going to do that, kill somebody, they're going to find a way. But as far as my gun, I don't think it would be. I don't look at it as, trying to compensate. What it actually to me is, hey, look, it's a deterrent.
Sure.
Because the bad guys, the guys out robbing and stealing, they looking for the easy thing. It's like you said. So why should I mess with you when I can go over there and there's another guy at the gas station?
Unabated. I'm going to take
He's
this.
talking on his phone, not paying no attention. You can walk up to him and say, hey, man, you drop your wallet. Get out of here,
Yeah.
And I'm gone. And that has happened to me. I've been mugged in a grocery, not a grocery store, but a convenience store. And the guy, I'm in my truck, somebody sticks a pistol through the window right into my temple and says, give me your wallet. What do you think I did? I said, you want my watch too? I was, and then when he ran off, he told me to lay down in the seat and not to look up. And the next thing I hear, I'm thinking he's gone. I hear gunshots, and I couldn't get in that crack of that seat far enough.
Yeah.
And then it was the guy who owned the store. He came out and said, "You okay? You okay?" And he said, "I know who that guy was. I always have to run him off around here. He's always in trouble." So they caught the guy. I don't know this. I'm just a victim of a crime.
And none of that matters to you anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that moment, that adrenaline.
So if we're doing our job, being proactive, we're watching. We're not on our phone. You're paying us to to watch your back, to keep your eyes open, to look around. And yes, the guys, like you said, some of them were smoking the cigarettes on the corner. Yes, they're there, but we want to say we're professionals. We'll be here.
Yeah.
We do extra training. We're licensed by the state of Texas. The Department of Public Safety does the background check, and they has the requirements.
I know
we
some
have
SEAL
to meet.
Team 6 guys that smoke cigarettes, so I don't want to put that out there as a bad thing if a guard
no,
does.
I don't say. I mean,
just
it's
was
they're
trying
too
to paint a
busy.
picture.
Yeah, we're not painting a bad. No, we don't mean that. I don't know if you must have heard me talk about it before, because that was my thing. The guy with the tennis shoes with the cigarette on the corner, not paying any attention to what's going on. He's too worried about himself. We should say
The phone, the cigarette, the people walking
Yeah.
by, the young ladies. He's not into security. He's doing his own, whatever's on his mindset for the evening. And
Yeah, and so, but we do our best to. One thing we have found, honestly, that former military people, they turn out to be pretty good. Not all, but most of them we hire, we're going like, man, you got a brother, you got some friends, because they understand security. They've worked it and they know how to do it. So it's not like changing a culture from. They already know. You
and
just
they know
say,
how to implement it. I mean, get it
Yeah.
done when there's a problem, safely, securely,
know which way to-
discreetly. All these things, and there's a lot of layers to security that says more than a watchman. And not entirely, but in some cases, I mean, having security on hand, of course, is the same deterrent as having a gun on my hip when I'm alone. But there's a lot of events that we're not allowed to, and you are by license.
Yes.
Especially when there's drinks and we're having a good time. Our guard is down, and so to have you as our guard is a comforting thought. So we can have that moment of celebration or indulgence that we planned. That is a necessary part of, I guess, human survival, to enjoy life a bit. And we need to. Everybody needs to. And unfortunately, sometimes that puts us in a precarious position. And we try not to, but it's good to have security on hand.
So I like to say we have, for example, one guy, he doesn't work for us anymore, but he's probably listening to the show. He works security. He's retired Marine Corps. His job, he worked security at U.S. embassies. He's trained. He took diplomats in war zones. But you say, oh, I don't want to hire that security guard. I don't want that security officer to work. You're concerned that he wouldn't know what to do at your apartment, or here at, say, at the city council meeting. We got to have a police officer. We can't use security. But here's a guy, 20 years guarding U.S. embassies in foreign land, guarding diplomats, and escorting them through war zones. But you don't want him to.
So if security officers can carry guns, what is the difference between the main differences between security and police?
The police are police, and so let me back up. There's different classes or levels of security guard.
Okay.
You can have a level 2 security officer. Which we say non-commissioned. They cannot carry.
Okay.
They can only use wear the uniform only.
Okay.
Then you can go to level 3, which is commissioned uniform. As a commissioned officer, he's the one that did the training, had to do qualification at the range, meet state standards, and he or she is a level 3, and they're commissioned, so they're armed. Then you can go to level 4, which they call them bodyguards. Texas calls them personal protection officer. So they switch over. They're armed, but they're concealed carry only. So, and they're non-uniform. They're plain clothes, concealed carry only.
Is level 3 hip armed?
Level 3 is hip armed.
Open
carry, loud and proud, required by law. Everybody got to see it.
Okay.
Level 4 is no secret. It's concealed carry only, and not in uniform.
Sure.
But you're licensed this way. You're trained this way. And you call them bodyguards or something like that. And the biggest difference is, I know there's going to be some discussion about what's the difference between a police officer and a bodyguard. And my understanding from my training that I had, if you want security and you hire a police officer and he or she is escorting you to an event and a felony goes down, by law, the police officer has to attend. So say there has to stay on site. Say there's just some crazy shooting. You hired him to protect you, but now he has to disengage and address the shooting issue or the felony that's going on, and he can't leave, and you're left high and dry. But if you hire a personal protection officer,
So what you're saying there, let me just stop here. He moves to a civil duty and no longer at your employ.
you're right, and you paid him all the money you want, but by law he has to
Revert to a civil employee.
right.
Yeah, okay.
But if you're a personal protection officer, his or her job is to protect you. So if a shooting or bad event goes on, they can leave this crime scene with you, get you into safety.
Yeah.
But then they have to come back to the scene and report.
Well, let me ask you this: what about like traffic, like a funeral procession or a presidential procession, or are you involved in these things? And does your company have that type of service? Like you're going to escort me to my location from A to B, or is it just at location kind of service?
We can do that.
Okay.
But some of the stuff you asked, I can't tell you, other than I have people that I can call that have escorted former and future presidents of the United States when they're here in Conroe.
Okay.
But the idea is we don't, so we're
It's
going
not
to
on
be
the business
secret.
card?
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
But
All right.
we can do it.
But it's an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what about basics? Human style services like a funeral procession. It just really isn't. There's not really security. It's just more about moving through the intersections. Was that more municipal?
That would be more municipal.
Okay.
But if you needed it, we do have people who are currently.
The difference is if whatever we're hired to do, that's the only task we can do. So even if we're security officers, but you hired us at your event to direct traffic, we cannot work security. Our focus has to be straight on directing traffic. It's like they can't overlap. So that way you're not pulled away from
see.
whatever task.
You got to do one or the other. You can't do
What
both.
if I'm closing a Dymonds store in Huntsville and I'm moving it to the city of Houston? I need to transport all this stuff.
Perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
do that?
We can accompany.
Okay. So and are we insured and bonded in this regard, or okay? So if we get robbed in the middle somewhere, and God forbid something happens, and that we were worried about to begin with, is why we called you. Because people want all our diamonds. I want to be a millionaire in the morning, and we're moving them and we're exposed to it, and we knew it, so we called you guys. That would be a call you'd want to take. Okay. And what's the number to reach you guys? How do they reach out to Ranger?
Yeah, the phone number is 936-207-1033.
Okay.
And what you asked, I've done hundreds of times in my life.
And where are y'all located at? Y'all here in Conroe?
Right across the street.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And,
Downtown.
And y'all have other local clients in the area. I assume y'all have done this for a while.
Yeah, we are preferred vendors for several of the venues and the wedding venues in the area. But we service patrol services all the way up to New Waverly. And then we work all the way down to, in Houston, we have some schools that we work at, elementary schools. And so anywhere in between, we cover apartments, we cover
Construction
churches,
sites.
construction sites. So we have a wide
that's got to be
range.
rough, Joe. Is that all night long, huh? That's when they're not there, isn't it?
That's the guy that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's in the middle of the night when they all go home. Yeah. You got to guard the stuff sitting out there.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, they've got that equipment out there. I see them put them up on the cranes and stuff.
yeah.
They raise it off the ground. It just floats. So,
So-
yeah, that's happened.
Here, I'm gonna put a plug in for us. The big construction company right here in Montgomery County, we'll leave the details out. They have a multi-million-dollar machine. I don't know what it does, but it has to do something.
Big, beautiful
And they're
shiny
on a
machine.
construction site right by the railroad. And they think they have security. They got the nice little tall cameras with the lights. And if you walk up to it, it tells you, hey, warning, you're being recorded and all
Really?
that stuff.
Wow.
So the next day we get a phone call. They stole all the wire off our multi-million-dollar machine. And it's going to take 3 days for all the parts to come in, and then we have to fix it, and then we got all this downtime. So for the rest of that project, we're there at night. And our officer there on site, walking around, and he gets a laser dot put on his chest at 2 o'clock in the morning. So everybody thinks, oh, it's just fun and games and nobody going on. But yeah, the camera was really nice. They could tell you, at least they know it was a white dude with a goatee, about 6 foot tall and 200 pounds. Mm-hmm. And you just described about half the male population.
Same way it goes when they say put your keys and wallet on the dashboard and walk that way. It's the same exact thing that happens. You got a glimpse. You were scared to death. You know,
and then the police show up. They write you a night. No offense to my police friend. They write you a little report, and the first question they're going to ask you got insurance? You're file it with your insurance. But that doesn't mean, you're a service company and you have a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment that's how you make your money, by leasing or renting this equipment. But you can't use it for a week. And then you're on a construction site, and all those
needs
people
it tomorrow, yeah.
They need it, so they can't do their job for a week. So all these people who are working the construction, they got to find something to do for a week. But the job, and then I don't know, your client could have a contract where I have to be done by a certain day, and now we can't.
Yeah.
And what's the reason? Well, we thought we had security. We had the camera going. At least we know what the guy looks like.
I agree. I think traffic cams on roads been pretty effective, and I've even seen where officers have used dash cams to help see while coming to a crime scene the vehicles leaving as they approach it, and they search all those vehicles and the make and models. But those cameras on those dash cams, they can't get a license plate off those. They can barely tell you what color and what type. And they're close. You can tell it's a red, it's a Malibu, it's an Impala maybe, something like that. And they get some basics. So when they do come closer to the point of contact with the actual criminal, if there's a red car sitting there that's even slightly similar, they all know we're in the right place. We're in the right place. We've got some ties. We can bring this together. And I think that in support of our local law enforcement, I think that's some of the ties that they get to go dig down those rabbit holes and find those details and really work it in another way. And a lot of these cameras here in the city that I think Buster Barshop put some of those out there from Barsh Auto. They did a lot of those cameras that do the license plate readings when we have a child abducted in Port O'Connor, Texas, and we know there's only one interstate that's going to bring them back to Houston or to get him out to this way. So as long as you monitor that interstate, that vehicle, unless he stays in Port O'Connor, which was an easy search because it's a small area, I got to search 5 houses. I think we got this. Local law enforcement can handle it, but once he starts commuting out of that, we're lost. We can't trace that child, from one location to the next. Welcome to the statistics. I
got good friends that are police officers, and I don't want to be a policeman.
No,
I respect them, and yes, and they do a good job but their job is their job.
Yeah.
My job is my job. I hope our job is to prevent the police from having to do their job, and they're already stretched thin, taking care of what they got. So hopefully we can keep it down a little bit. And you brought up the lights and the camera. Every one of our patrol cars, we have cameras.
There you go. Nice.
And dash cams, and we also filming our officer on the inside, see what they're doing. They're all GPS, so you want to know, I know where they have, about how fast they go around the corner, how long they sit, how long they idled. And I can look in there on the screen and see what they were doing while they were idling.
Military? You ex-military?
No, I'm not.
No. You?
I'm not.
No.
No, our franchise, we're a franchisee,
Okay.
And so
The
the
franchise.
founders of the company, it is a
Ranger.
veteran-owned business.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just we don't have personal
No.
experience in it.
Oh, and I'm sure you employ some.
Oh,
it'd
yeah,
probably be
we-
hard
we
not
like-
to.
we
Yeah.
like 'em.
I
Yeah.
know a lot of guys coming back from Iraq and stuff like that. These are good jobs for them, and
Yes.
they are probably the best option for someone to put there. And what about you? Favorite sidearm? What do you like?
Me?
Yeah.
I like that new Glock 19X.
Yeah. Are you running with it somewhere? One of these ranges, or you getting regular test fire? Do you have property where you can practice? You pointed like it was down the street, so that means no.
Well,
but-
I was trying to think of where it is. Without going into detail, I have multiple weapons, and depending on
Yeah.
what I'm doing, where I'm going, some of them are smaller and some of them are bigger.
Sure.
But for my duty weapon, I like the new 19X. That's just an upgraded version of the 5th gen
Yeah.
19. But I like it. Just get a little bit of handle grip. My hand fits me better.
I'm running with some old Berettas and just been playing with those since my first gun was a Beretta, and still
Well,
they don't ever go anywhere. It's like my first
I
gun
like-
stole my gun. It's
The
like, oh yeah, it's
cheapest
right
gun-
there.
The first gun I ever bought was the cheapest little old Ruger 9mm, and I just years ago, and it's still may not cheapest gun, but as far as using, I like it. You
Yeah.
know, if I was going to say it's my favorite, little cheap Ruger I got down at Academy. You
Yeah.
know, it was the
I got a
cheapest
little.
gun I could
I got a
find.
little 22, and it didn't even look like a real gun. It was a little box about that big, a little 22, and we loaded it up with rat shells because we didn't really want to kill anybody. You know what I mean? I don't want to kill anybody, but if he gets in my house, I'll drop him in the house. You know, and so how are you going to do that without killing him? Rat shell? I'll pepper them really.
She scared me one day. I'm just minding my own business watching TV, and she comes and guess what I did all by myself, and I'm like, uh-oh, I have no idea. And she went down to Academy and tried on every pistol they had. That's what she said. She tried them on.
You tried them on.
Every one at Academy.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, and she brought it home, and I picked it out all by myself. And I'm like, really? Okay.
Well, north of Conroe, there's a place called Tarango's. You familiar with this
Yeah,
place?
we love Tarango's.
Great people. I love them. And Cindy and her husband out there, they're so much fun. And they brought some of those guns in here. They had good weight. You know, they're proper. It seems really good, and it's a great place to run some practice. And I think you guys been out there practicing, haven't
Yeah.
you?
We have
We do training exercise. Well, we've done
done some
training
team building out there at their location, and yeah, great.
they
She
got
was
the
on the
scenario
show. They
set up.
got almost got kicked off the air. They
love
said I
that.
got carried away with one of the weapons. I'm like, it's not a real weapon. I was reenacting a Clint Eastwood scene. It's no big deal. Give me the whiskey. And they got all mad. You know, everybody got upset. The show ended abruptly. It was, I was like, it's not really doing anything. Oh, you're in.
So that's you brought it up. Even though our officers are certified and licensed by the state, we do for the ones for the school, and it's something we set up a 40-hour in-service prior to them going to the school.
Okay.
And we took them this in August before school started. The week before, we took them to Rango's, and we did the simulator where the things pop up. Make sure you only
Cool.
shoot the good guy, the bad guys, not the good guys. And then we also took them over here to a range and live fire. But some of the classes we taught, we have a PhD that teaches criminal justice at one of the schools around here, and we did what is some of the stuff? My brain just stopped thinking. Some of the classes like how to de-escalation, things like that. The same training that the police officers get.
Sure.
We try to have that little mini version, and we do CPR
Training's
first
super.
aid.
there you go. CPR and first aid. That's great.
Yeah,
I think
things
that's
like that
fantastic. I just keep thinking about small arms combat, and I don't think a home invader considers it or even titles it this way, but I do. And I'll tell you, they say a child could pull a gun and kill every one of you. Well, yeah, but a trained gunman he's gonna kill everybody in the building, and it, there's a talent to it and a craft. I mean, if you get good at it, you're comfortable with your weapon, you know how to move with it, you know how it works, you know what to look for, how to watch a field in a room, and I mean, we were employed by this guy who was a retired Navy SEAL. We had told, but found out he was a medic. But nevertheless, same training, right? I mean, he wasn't that operator, but he was like, I'm a radio operator. Radio operator. I'm like, well, whatever. You're still that guy for us, But he'd count your hairs when he walked in the room. I mean, he knew everything was in the room that was going on. He saw it all quickly, and he had that way about him in every occasion that we were with him. He would be directly conversing with me, but he could seriously knew everything else that was happening around him, which was tested often, and because it was a busy place, and he was the leader of our team, so we would often, people would come in from all sides of him, bringing in different questions and things like, man, this guy's got eyes behind his head, unbelievable, a great sense of the room, but I think that's all not necessarily from his upbringing. I think this is his training in small arms combat. I played Houston Rookie League paintball, and I know it's not the same thing, but, once we got versed, we owned it, and we go to any field and we owned it. I mean, we were forced to be reckoned with, but when we started, it was quick, and thanks for playing. The little 8-year-old kid's waving you off the field, back to the lobby, and he was like, man, they were kidding about these kids, but shortly later, the kids didn't get us anymore, so there is a lot to be said for a good training and staying versed, as is my golf game. If you're on par, you're on par. If you're versed, you're versed, and if you can continue to stay that way and stay steady, I don't think that you have much concern for things, and maybe don't get all crazy about reacting in a fear of a situation, meaning I want to secure the situation, but I don't want to be so scared that I automatically go for my weapon. You know what I mean? Because I'm scared. You man put fear in me, so I got scared, drew my weapon, and then we have a situation. So staying versed can really help to de-escalate those situations, to be a better observer of possibilities, and to be, what was the word you used before? Ready ahead of time. Prepared, proactive, yeah, to be proactive, and I think those would bring that into play a little bit better. So staying versed, I think, does that for you guys.
Absolutely.
We're training them. We went through real life scenarios. We have Montgomery, he was a Harris County sheriff deputy, come with us to training, and we went into a church, and so we, as close as we could find to actual school, so we can do the scenario of the officers patrolling and somebody runs up and yells, hey, guy's got a gun down here, so what are you going to do? And it got a corner, so we set it up that way. So we got the little play guns, the little orange ones, or
the
yellow
Nerf
ones.
guns?
Yeah, little stuff like that. So but they go in there, and then we set up little different things. Oh, the kids are playing in a room with a crazy person, or there's a gun laying on the ground, or whatever. But we did those, try to go through a lot of the scenarios and see what the officer's going to do. So it's not like a first thing, and we try to train them. You're walking down the hallway. You're not just thinking about going on the cigarette break. You're thinking, what happens if I turn the corner and there's a bad guy standing there? So what are you going to do? So you think that. That's where your brain is all day long. When
Do you offer any training classes for people, like for live shooter situations, maybe just, like schools or classrooms or large office buildings, large communities and groups, and just tell them what the management teams on how to respond to these things?
We could, yes.
Yeah. Well, guys, I our time's running out. I could go all day with this. This is a great topic for me, and I really have enjoyed our time. And fortunately, we're running out of it. But where can they find you guys? Tell them how to get a good security guard for their event, their happening, their church, their school, their apartments, their commercial buildings, and the people that they care about. Especially those that close late at night and have folks walking through large parking lots, large areas that are out in the open, and things like this that they already know is a concern. They wouldn't call you if they didn't feel like it was a concern and somebody didn't express it already to them. And they know who they are. They know who we're talking about, and their employees have already brought it up. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so you can follow us on any social media. Facebook, our page is Ranger Guard of Conroe, or you can call our number. Again, it's 936-207-1033, and we would be happy to speak with you and find a customized plan to meet any needs of any customer.
Fantastic. Guys, thank you. Thank you. We're blessed to have you.
Thank you so much for
So
coming.
grateful you came, and I'll look for you guys in the future, and we look forward to visiting with you at the fashion show, and we'll reach out to you before then. Guys, we'll be right back after this with more of the Texas Ticket Show on Lone Star Community Radio.
Won't you kick your feet up if you have a minute? Turn your radio dial to the Texas.
Every Friday, tune into Texas Ticket on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM with Armando Nino of Golakeconroe, focusing on Montgomery County area events and places. Get a feel of the Texas spirit at the event, paired with guest and vendor interviews, event coverage, and ticket giveaways, and so much more. Join us Fridays and punch your Texas ticket. For more information on the show, visit irlonestar.com/Texas Ticket. Welcome back to the Punch Your Texas Ticket segment of the show. Yeah, and so I'm just going to run through some quick events that are happening here. And number one, our event in focus is the MoCo Fashion Show. It's going to be coming over at Timberline Crossing May 3rd. May 3rd. Yeah, the evening of May 3rd. They'll be sending out some links to that and sharing some of that stuff. That date was just announced on the way in today. I'm excited about it. And there's going to be great security. It's going to be great. It's going to be huge. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be beautiful security. Beautiful security. A lot of people said, wow,
secure.
What great security.
Yeah. Very proactive security.
Proactive. Ranger security will be out there. Ranger Guard. Yeah. And so put that on your calendar for May 3rd. That link will be spammed out there here shortly. I hate to use that word. Trent Cowie will be at Henry's Hideout in Plantersville, Texas. I'm going to go to this.
You're going?
I'm going to try really hard. Henry's Hideout's out there a bit, but it's not too far. It's in Plantersville, like when you're going out to the Renaissance Festival. I used to call it the Dobbin City Hall or City Hall, and it wasn't even in Dobbin, and it ain't City Hall. It's a bar, yeah. But nevertheless, and I think this is where Jeff Canada shot one of his videos out there. A couple of artists have shot at this little bar, and every one of these productions seem to like that place just doesn't look as familiar. I mean, you'll recognize everything in it, and it's just is that place by the bar that serves beer? Well, yeah.
That's the only
Henry's Hideout. Anyway, let's see what else we've got. And tickets are on sale for that now. You can get tickets for that January or February 1st event at Henry's Hideout for Trent Cowie. Classic and Supercars Into the Stars at 1097 McCaleb Road. This is a Charlie Diggs Entertainment and Promotions event. Charlie Diggs has got this going on at 1097 McCaleb Road, Montgomery, Texas. And that's in between Pampas and Fish Creek and the thoroughfare there.
That's so tomorrow,
right? Yeah. Right there in the middle. Saturday. And speaking of Jeff Canada, he's having on the 19th, this Sunday, he'll at the Big Barn. Him and Tyler Tillman, I think, will be out there and celebrating his birthday at Do-Si Do. And that's right there in the Woodlands. You can check it out at Do-Si Do's website. Tyler Childress on the Road Tour is coming up in June 3rd. And I know that's still a bit away. There are still seats available, and that's at the Cynthia Mitchell Woods Pavilion. You can go check that out. Again, at Do-Si Do, the Big Barn. Nope, not that one.
Yes.
Did you know, really quick, where is that? Did you know that January 22nd is National Hot Sauce Day?
No.
It is.
Are you a hot sauce fan?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't like it too hot. But the same day.
You don't want ghost pepper hot sauce?
No, that's not enjoyable. That's lawsuit hot. I don't want that kind of hot. Okay. And I'm not even all that hot challenge stuff. But anyway, also February 22nd, real important day. It's actually National Margarita Day.
National Margarita and National Hot Sauce Day on the same day? That sounds dangerous.
Very, very. And I was talking to Rusty over at the Walden Yacht Club, and we were chatting about brunches, right? Because I told him I'm coming in for brunch. I was threatening him for Sunday brunch. And he's like, all right. I go, you're the only place in town. And he's like, what are you talking about? There's other places. I mean, he's like, I'm like, what? And he said, well, Seven Language has a brunch. And I go, well, it ends at 1 o'clock. He's like, well, what's wrong with that? And I go, well, I like to stick around. At 2 seems like you're shutting it down a little early, and you go till 2. And plus, who drinks margaritas for brunch? What are you going to do the rest of the day?
You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Well.
And I mean, both count. I could drink mimosas and start in the morning and say I've been drinking all day and still qualify.
Yes.
But I can't qualify if I start drinking margaritas first thing in the morning, because what happens is you don't make it to the fourth quarter. You're not going to make it. It's going to be a huge nap. Yeah. And February 14th, of course, is Valentine's Day. Got that coming up for you and your loved one, significant other, whatever. But February 15th is National Singles Day.
Really? Mm-hmm. I did not know that.
Very next day. Yeah. That's happening. February 2nd is National Crepe Day. Mm-hmm. Oh. And its partner, National Nutnella Day, February 5th.
Nutnella?
Nutnella. Whatever. What I say.
My gosh, okay.
Nutnella on the 5th now. So you can get you a nice fat crepe on the 2nd and fill it with Nutnella and kind of get it all done on the 3rd or the 4th,
I want that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sweet Paris, the Woodlands. You been out there?
I have not.
Yeah, Sweet Paris Creperie in the Woodlands.
Yeah,
Wowzers.
I'm gonna go.
One of the largest purchasers of Nutnella in Montgomery County. Yeah, and it's a real thing. I ain't even joking. That wasn't a joke. I'm not that good at jokes.
Oh, shoot.
And so here in the end of January, we've been celebrating a lot of things.
We have.
It has. February 17th, National Acts of Kindness Day, February 17th. Yep. You can Google this stuff. It's for real. Right up there with Goat Yoga Day.
Goat Yoga.
Weed Awareness Day. Weed Awareness Day. Yeah. All these are happening. These are national.
It's all February?
National Weed Month is February. That's a thing. Yeah.
Is that a coincidence that's never mind, I'm not going to say
I don't know. Up there with what, hot sauce? No. I don't even know if that's the same time.
No.
Racer Camp.
Race camp?
Race camp. Yeah. You can go out to Race Camp out in Montgomery, Texas. You can call 713-364-2668. And this is downtown Montgomery. This is we've got some world famous folks working out there. We've got some national title holders, motocross, motorbike, dirt bikes, motocross, all over the place out there. Downtown Montgomery, Texas. TexasTornadoBootcamp.com. This thing is fantastic. And
you cannot get more Texas than that.
There are some pros. The pros are coming for this one. It is no soft core. It's no some guy in a dirt bike in a loop. It's not what's happening out there. These guys are the pros. They're coming in. He's bringing other pros. They're going to have a whole host of folks.
Serious.
Check it out. If you're into motocross, you're into that sort of thing, check out TexasTornadoBootcamp.com. That is one to watch. If you want your kids to get involved with that, you can reach out to them there, or you can just call 713-364-2668. And that was brought to me by my friends over at Texas Truck Works. They were telling me all about it, and they were saying the guy that does it is a world-renowned dirt bike rider, and he brought it up to me, and he says this guy got his first dually at the Houston Dually Club, and he was right here, got his first truck set up with us here at Texas Truck Works, and the guy's amazing.
Wow.
And I said, well, is he good? He's the best in the world. Oh, okay. Well, there it is. It's best in the world. We got that on a second, third, and fourth party recommendation. So January 11th, Crichton Theater, that's already happened. What's going on at Copperhead Brewery? What did that thing say? Copperhead Brewery, it's Copperhead Brewery every day. The Go Texan Parade, that is February 22nd from 1 to 3 p.m. downtown Conroe. The Go Texan Parade is a long-time tradition here in Conroe, Texas. Go and check that thing out and get involved. There's plenty of time to still play ball with those folks. You still got another month and a half, I think, give or take. The Man in Black, Sean Baker's #1 Johnny Cash tribute. #1 over at the Big One. January 31st. It's a Friday night. It starts at 6:30 p.m. You can catch it for 6:30. I think it starts. They seating, they eat dinner, and then 7:30 they pull the plates and the lights go down. Yep. Yeah, and then Johnny Cash starts. And I can tell you by the pricing, he's got to be good.
I can see that.
Yeah, he's got to be good. I'm not familiar with Sean Baker, but I know there's a couple of really good Men in Blacks that perform out in this area and some that move through here across the world that, man, some are amazing. True Texas HEB. HEB got a little True Texas barbecue, and I keep getting mad at HEB because they keep putting those amazing tamale commercials and brisket queso and
I've never seen any of that before.
bacon wrapped jalapeno stuff with brisket and cheese all over the place. These guys are killing me. Stop it with those commercials. You're hurting my feelings, Let's see. Ryder Wonderland at B52 Brewing. That's going on this Saturday. Edwards Family Entertainment, 52 Wonderland, Holly Jolly Jubilee. This is a reschedule. They had a holiday event, and the weather was poor, so they're rescheduling it, moved it out. And you got to go look at it. Yeah, go to B52's website, b52brewing.com, right here on Highway 105 West. They've got some stuff coming up. I was looking to see what they're doing and how they were going, and I found this one, and it's Winter Wonderland at B52. Benefiting Loving Choice Pregnancy Center will take place on January 18th, 12 to 5 p.m. All right. And what is that? Is that an active shooter trainee class? All right. Well, I think that's about all. Did you have anything else?
No, I think.
Yep, that is it. I'd like to thank folks over at True Texas Solar, as well as Texas Truck Works. I'd also like to thank my friends over at Hunger Crush Cafe on Lake Conroe. And again, we have a few mentions there with Sweet Paris Cafe in the Woodlands. We'd like to thank those guys. The Treehouse in Magnolia, and all of our friends in and around Lake Conroe. The Timberline Crossing for hosting the fashion show that's coming up, and they're ready to host your wedding event, rehearsals, and things like that. That's what they do there, and so many more. Guys, Lone Star Community Radio is a nonprofit station serving the city of Conroe. You can accept their donations and support for the program at Lone Star Community Radio's website. You can just go there and make a donation. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please contact us. Reach out. The links are down below. Thank you for watching the Texas Ticket Show. We'll see you next week.